Welcome, Randy here back in the shop. Today I'm going to be showing you how I degree the camshaft and what all is involved in that, setting up the degree wheel and so on. A couple things I wanted to show you is you can get crank gears that have multiple keyways in them. Like this is a stock gear here. It only has one keyway in it, and you'll find a mark on the gear right here that's marked with a dot, or looks like a zero. That is one way. Then I've got another gear over here. I'll bring you over so you can see it. And this gear here is a multiple keyway gear. As you can see, this keyway has got a rounded top on it. This is the mark for that particular timing mark there. And then you have another one that's this shape at the top, and that corresponds with this timing mark right here on the gear. Hope you can see that. And you have another keyway here that's square on the top, and it has a square keyway mark, timing mark right there. And what you have to do is, when you put your crank gear on, this is lined up with your key, you line this straight up with the mark on the timing gear. Okay, you don't want to get those confused. You don't want to put the gear on here and line it up with this mark, because then your camshaft will be put in wrong. Also, what they have is, before they came out with this multiple keyway stuff, when you had just a single key, and a camshaft gear has got 3 holes in it, and it's got a dowel pin hole. We used to take and drill the dowel pins out and draw dowel pin hole out, and you put in these offset bushings. Depending on what way you put the bushing in, it would either advance, or if you rotated it this way, it would retard the camshaft. Let's see, am I doing that right? Yeah. Yep. This is advancing the cam, and this here would be retarding the cam, because you'd be theoretically moving the camshaft, rotating the camshaft on the gear. You'd have to drill out the bowl holes so you had enough clearance. The timing set that I'm using on this motor has multiple keyways that are degreed, 2, 4, 6, and 8, and has corresponding keyways, has multiple keyways all the way around it, and so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on there. I'll bring it over to the motor and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll be right back. Okay, we're sitting at the front of the motor here now, and I'm going to try to show you this here. You can see that keyway there is marked 4, -4. And then there's another number there that's marked -6. And then you have a -4 here on the crank gear. I have the gear set at the -4 keyway, so the -4 number on the top of the gear has got to be lined up with your dot on your cam gear, and that's how you adjust the timing on this particular timing set. I'm going to go ahead and get the degree wheel on it. I'll show you how to check that, and I'll be right back. All right, back at the motor again. What I got here is I got a piece of aluminum here that's set up going across the top of the piston. I'm using that for a piston stop because it has a this motor has a high dome piston in it. And so what I'm going to do is rotate this motor till it stops. And then back at the timing gear here, I'm going to set this at the degree wheel. I'm going to set this at 0. The degree wheel is lined up with 0 on the pointer there. And now we're going to rotate this motor the opposite way until the piston stops again. Comes up firmly against the stop, just like that there. And as you can see now, the timing pointer, which is right here, is reading 75 degrees. So you take 75 and you divide that in half, which is about what is it here? About 38 degrees, something like that. So you'll set your degree wheel there at 38 degrees, and if you rotate the motor the other way, and when it hits the piston stop, and gotta adjust this a little bit more here. We're at 32 degrees that direction. Rotate it again here. And we're at 32 degrees that direction. So now you know your degree wheel is set up at top dead center. When I take the piston stop off and I rotate this degree wheel to 0 here, the piston will be exactly at top dead center. And I'll take that piston stop off and we'll rotate it around. All this is just a piece of flat aluminum bar with a hole drilled in it. Put a bolt in the head bolt hole to hold it. We'll rotate this around to 0 here. There. Now this piston here is exactly at top dead center, and you can see the dome on it that was hitting my piston stop. If you have a flat top piston, I have another bar that you can bolt between these two bolt holes, and it's got a bolt that runs in the center of it, and you want to run that bolt at least half, 3/4 of an inch down, so you stop the piston in the bore, because you don't want to do it exactly at top dead center. because when the piston gets to the top, you have a little bit of swing either way in your crankshaft. So if you do it down in the bore more, it's more accurate. You don't get any error, because the piston actually stops at the top as the connecting rod is swinging around on the crankshaft. All right, I got you back at the engine here. I got the dial indicator zeroed. We'll rotate the engine direction rotation until we get 50 thousandths of lift. Right there, there's 50 thousandths. And we'll come back to the dial indicator here. And we'll take a look at that. And I'm reading 29.5 degrees. Okay, so now what we have to do is we rotate the engine, continue direction rotation for till you get the maximum lift. And then when we come down on the other side of the lobe, you have to stop at 50 degrees or 50 thousandths before top dead center, and then you read your exhaust close. So I'm going to rotate this around here. Okay, we're on the top of the lobe now. Bring it back up to the dial indicator here. That's maximum lift. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just passed it there. Yeah, it's pretty close. Okay, now bring it back down to the degree wheel here. It's showing it's at 106 degrees, but you don't start from 0. On the closed side, you have to go from the 180 mark, because the after bottom dead center close, 50 thousandths close, it's showing 74 degrees after bottom dead center. So this now, the 180 mark becomes your 0, so you count backwards: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 74. So according to this here, the cam is all degreed in. That's one thing you have to remember not to forget, is you don't start at 0. You can't start from the 0 mark on your dial indicator. You have to start at the 180 mark and count backwards on the closed side. On the open side, starting from 0 is good, but on the closed side, you need to start from the 180 mark and work backwards. Okay? And now all I got to do is put the thrust button in and put the bolts in with red Loctite, torque them down, and we'll be good to go. I'll bring it right back.